Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for for February 2023. We're just gonna jump right in here, Capricorn, and we're gonna see what is going on for you at this time. You have this innovation and this detachment card. I'm also gonna take both of these cards because they both kind of wanted to come out together here. Both those cards represent Aquarius. We have Pluto going into Aquarius in March, as I keep talking about, which is going to be a very important time for you, and Aquarius right here as well. I feel that there's a lot of success. I said this to you in your yearly reading. I think that it's kind of interesting that you are not necessarily a major player this year, like as far as your astrology is concerned, but I'll tell you what, Capricorn, I kind of think that you might benefit the most from this year. Obviously, you're going to have to put the work in. I also think maybe the challenging thing for you this year is that you might have to make some changes, as in maybe you set out to start a business or start a relationship. It's like the changes are going to be in the direction. Maybe you have to change direction quickly, or maybe you have to adapt to changing circumstances. The other thing that I see happening, especially for those of you in work or business, it's like some of you might be doing something that kind of has like an initial blast, right? Where it initially works really, really well. And then it's almost like something happened. I feel like this has happened for some of you already, where it's like something like lifted off, right? Like a project, and then it came down. And I feel like the challenge here is for you to innovate and for you to learn to detach from outcomes. And that's what that detachment card is. I feel like you've had a lot of lessons. If you look at the lessons of the past like 3-4 years for you, Capricorn, I think you will see that the lessons have been all about detachment, detaching from outcomes, not having expectations, and kind of just like rolling with the punches, right? Now you're good at it. That's what I'm getting here from this reading, is that now you're just good at it in all areas of your life. Doesn't have to just be love, could be in business, and in fact, for most of you, I do feel like it's in business or work, right? And I feel now what this is saying is that you need to get good at innovation. You need to get good at like saying like, okay, this was working. Part of what I was working on was working. And now I need to tap into my intuition with the High Priestess. And I need to prove that I'm committed with the Four of Wands. That's what I'm getting here with this energy. Four of Wands is a card of marriage. But the interesting thing is that you can see that there are people on the other side of those Four Wands. It's almost like you have to cross through some sort of threshold, or that you have to fully commit. And I feel like that's what this is asking. It's almost like the universe is saying, if you're working on a project or business where there was the takeoff and then the crash, right? I feel like this is the universe saying, are you serious? Are you going to come up with new ways of doing what you're doing? And I'm here to encourage you to do this because I see a lot of success here. Star, Chariot, Six of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, really amazing cards so far. And what I would say is that doing it is going to lead to a lot of success. I feel like you're getting very intuitive ideas. The other thing about this card here is that she has no roof over her head. And I always say that the High Priestess represents unlimited potential, but it's just potential. The problem with potential is that we have to put the work in, right? To turn potential into something. So there's unlimited opportunity here, but you're going to have to put in the work. I do also see love kind of here for some of you. Could be a water sign. We see it going this way to the King of Cups, Page of Cups, so it could be a water sign coming in for some of you, could lead to marriage. You have the Eight of Pentacles as well. I feel like you're very focused, and I also feel that focus will be important. You can see that he's only working on one thing on this card. He's only focused on those pentacles, and I think that focusing on one thing at a time for you will be very profitable. I do also just feel that you're increasing your abundance. We have a lot of symbols of abundance here. On the High Priestess, she has these pomegranates behind her. The pomegranates are the fruit of the underworld in the tarot, but they also represent abundance. There's also dates on this card as well, date palms, and they also represent abundance. So I see a big increase of abundance for you. You have the Star here. This is like something about recognition. You have this recognition card in the middle. And the Star encourages you to stand out, encourages you to get attention or to stand out in some way. So I feel like doing that would be extremely beneficial. Hey, you have the star at the bottom of your clarification deck as well there. So there's like some sort of wish coming in for you. I feel there's a lot of fulfillment. Again, this is a good year. You're going to have to put the work in. And again, I feel like you're going to have to push past those moments where things aren't working. But if you do that, really good year. I'm telling you. And I know this is a monthly reading. You can't make this up. I just shuffled and look. You have the star with the Four of Wands and the High Priestess. If this is love, it could be a wish, a dream come true. That would be Pisces, but I'm kind of getting Aquarius vibes here. So what I would say is you could be, meeting a person who was born at the end of Aquarius is definitely standing out. Could also be a Cancer or just an air sign in general, I'm getting. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Temperance card. Yes, like I said, you're going to have to turn something around. Temperance is about turning a negative into a positive. You can turn a positive into a negative as well with the Temperance card, but it's a card of like turning things around. And that's what I feel like you need to do here. There could be some opportunities in like work or business for you to improve things or turn things around. And that's what I'd be doing, probably through hard work, but also innovation, trying new things, right? With the star, you have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords, like feeling like you can't have something. Very interesting. Star's like a wish, dream come true. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction, but really it's a card of only seeing one way of doing things. So again, innovation. I feel if you're stuck, you're not actually stuck. I think you just need to look for other ways of doing things. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this Gazelle card. It says change purity. I keep forgetting to pull two cards here. You also have this key that says lock, unlock on it. So I feel like you could be unlocking your potential here. It's going to be through this right here. You have this, throne cards, this Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is very adventurous. He's very spontaneous. He's also the builder in the tarot, and I feel you could be building some things in your life very successfully, but it's almost as if you have to make a change to do it. And the reason I say that is because it's like this right here is amazing. These are amazing cards going this direction. But this Chariot, he's trying to set himself apart. He is leaving this city behind him so that he can go find a place where he can stand out on his own. The city is crowded. There's a lot of people. Maybe there are rules and regulations as well that he has to follow. And I'm not saying you have to move. Maybe for some of you, you have to move because there's too much competition. But you could also be like changing the direction in your life. Like there might be some opportunity here for you to, change some things in your life so that you can set yourself apart. And I feel like doing that will make you very successful. It will definitely have you standing out. Six of Wands, a card of achievement, success. It's also a card of people being jealous. Right here, you have this person who is meant to look jealous of this guy here. But he has earned his place to be on that high horse. So it's like, do you think he cares about other people's opinions? Hell no, right? And again, criticism is a good thing. Like, again, I get worried if I'm not getting criticism on this channel, right? If I don't see any hate comments, then I start to get worried because it's like, okay, I'm being too safe, or I'm playing it too safe, or whatever, right? So it's much, much better to stand out. It's much, much better to have haters and trolls because then you're doing something good, right? And I feel like that's what this is saying, like in work, in business, in some area of your life. There could be people coming up, but again, ignore them. Don't feed the trolls, as they say, right? Just ignore it. They can't do anything to you, no matter what they say, right? So that's what I would say here with the Six of Wands, is get the attention, have your glow up. It's like you earned it. Who cares? You have the Ace of Cups here. Ace of Cups is your emotions overflowing, being very happy. So, and again, we're entering into a little bit of a weird 20 years, right? And as I've been saying to people, like, I would be careful of showing off and things like that because, it could get you a lot of negative attention. If you're showing off in a good way to be an inspiration to other people, I'm all about it. But, I think we're entering into a time where there could be people who are very much in lack mentality, and they could lash out if you're being successful. Like, how dare you be successful and things like that. So I would just like center yourself and say, I earned this. I think as long as you do that, and if you don't give them energy, then you're going to be fine. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Nine of Cups. Total fulfillment coming in for you. If this is love, by the way, I feel it's a very fulfilling connection. Look, we go from Ace of Cups, Nine of Cups, to the Page of Cups, to the Three of Cups. This is like a celebration. Sometimes I feel like the Three of Cups is also a little bit extra. It's like the two people, but there's a third person. I don't think this is a third party. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I am suggesting is it can kind of say there's like an extra element to the relationship that makes it really, really good. The interesting thing is I feel like you have dealt with a third party in the past because you have the Three of Swords here. And like that's what you're moving past, and you're moving towards like a connection you deserve. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Four Cups. Love it. See, I like this Four Cups because there's 3 cups that are pouring into that 1 cup there. If you're attracting love, I feel it could be a little bit unexpected that you're like finding a person who really pours into you is what I'm getting here. I feel like you're used to the opposite. I feel like you're the one that's always doing this right here, Capricorn, always giving, like overgiving, giving too much, right? And I feel for once it's like someone is about to enter into your life who overgives to you. If you do not want love, even if you do actually, I feel the same thing in business. Like if you're setting up a business or a career, or trying to make more money, it's almost like you're getting something where there's extra instead of like maybe for the past, especially based off your astrology, Capricorn, I would say maybe for the past 20 years, maybe you've always just been getting by, just enough, right? This reading to me is saying extra. I feel like there is extra left over, more than enough. I feel like it's almost as if you are just getting ahead, right? Which feels good. With the Six of Wands, you have the Four of Swords. Definitely a recovery period because you have the star twice in your reading. This is a card of recovery. I feel the universe is kind of giving you blessings for like what you have lived through for a long time. Next, in the area of what's coming towards you, you have this card that says, forgiveness sets you free. It keeps you from hanging on to what was never meant to be. It's kind of weird because I get this feeling of someone separating like away from me if I zone out. That's how I do readings. People always ask me, what are you staring at? Like the back of my eyeballs, the back of my eyelids. I don't know, right? That's how I get messages. But what I would say here is almost as if I feel like you have forgiven a person. 3 Swords is about forgiveness. But at the same time, it's almost, sometimes I think we go through a breakup. Maybe we've moved on, but we still feel the person, right? And I kind of get this feeling that you finally have fully moved on. You have this recognition card that says you will get the recognition and the rewards you deserve, which we've been talking about this whole time. You're not going to get recognized if no one knows who you are. So again, it is time for you to stand out. I would be thinking like, how can I inspire in the most humble way possible, right? That's the trick with Pluto and Aquarius. I talk about this all the time because if there was one thing that I would do, it would be that. It's like when we work with the energy, we get the rewards. That's what I try to preach to people. It's like Pluto and Aquarius. It's not a death sentence. It's not a prison sentence. It's like, hey, work with this energy. You will be rewarded no matter what's going on in the world, right? So being a positive influence, showing people what's possible, all those things are going to be very, very important and are going to lead to major success for you here, Capricorn. You have the King of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Chariot. I do feel like you could be attracting a King of Swords type person. I feel like they're very emotional in a good way, like not overly emotional as in they're crying on your shoulder every single day. I think they just have emotions, but I feel like they're very logical. They have great wisdom. They could be older than you as well. I also feel that this is you. I feel like you are becoming someone who is seen as like a mentor, or you could be being seen as becoming an authority in life as well. And again, I think that's a great thing to do during Pluto and Aquarius is like becoming an authority or doing something to become an authority, like trying to stand out, trying to get attention. Positively, of course, but becoming an expert, sharing your knowledge, or teaching other people how to do things is also going to be very valuable for you with this energy. You have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, it could be an admirer. Again, normally he's looking into that couple. He is on this card. He's looking at that fish. That fish is part of his imagination. It might not exist. So he really needs to grab onto that fish, whatever it is. And I kind of feel that for some of you, where it's almost as if, like, look, I love going this way because this King of Cups, he is wearing a golden fish necklace around his neck. So it's almost as if you have the power to make some sort of dream a reality. I think you just have to take control, number one. Number two, what I would say here is you might need to set yourself apart. Let's say you've been, and again, I think your environment is important. I'm just going to give you some examples. Let's say you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe YouTube isn't the right place for you. Maybe you need to start a blog. Maybe you need to start a podcast, right? I would be saying, like, maybe there's a way to share your information, and if what you've been doing hasn't been working, then maybe you just need to change where you are to stand out. That does not mean, as I always say, we're talking about just getting started here. It's like maybe for now, a podcast would do better, and you can put the podcast on YouTube, but maybe it doesn't grow very quickly, but the podcast itself grows very quickly. That's all that matters. And then you can grow the YouTube later, right? And I kind of feel like that's what this is saying. I get this feeling of looking at two things, like thinking I have to go this direction when there actually is a much better, easier start going this direction, where you're eventually going to kind of come to the middle and you're going to do both, right? So especially for work and business, it's like the way that you're doing things, maybe it just needs to shift the other way. And by doing that, you're giving yourself a better head start. And then eventually you're going to do the other thing anyway. I hope that makes sense. But that's like the weird message that I'm getting here. I don't know. There you go. It is what it is, right? We're going to clarify this. And see, with the King of Swords, you have the Knight of Cups. Definitely a Knight in Shining Armor coming in for you if you want love. You have this Three of Pentacles wanting to pop out there, by the way. It kind of flipped around while I was shuffling there. And I don't take pop-outs, but it is interesting. I do feel that you could be attracting a person who like really is focused on teamwork. I love the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles in love also represents a person who like really wants to build something beautiful. You know, it's a card of quality work, but in love, it could just say you're attracting a person who wants to build a positive relationship. With the Page of Cups, here you go. You have the Seven of Cups. Definitely time for you to bring a dream down to earth. You know, this is kind of obvious to me, Capricorn, because we have Neptune and Pisces. But not only do we have Neptune and Pisces, we have Saturn moving into Pisces as well. The whole point of Saturn and Pisces is that we have to bring a dream down to earth. We have to take those Neptune and Pisces crazy ideas that we've been having for years, and Saturn moves into Pisces later on in March of this year, and it's like you need to make those things real. How do we do that? Small steps, tiny little steps, right? Whatever your dream is, doesn't matter. Maybe you want to compete with Elon and start the next Tesla. Maybe you want to start the next SpaceX. It says, what's like the smallest little step? Maybe you could start launching rockets in your backyard and stuff like that, right? Like toy rockets, play ones, right? And people think I'm kidding. But it's like, I'm telling you right now, we are living in a time with Neptune and Pisces where if you prove to the universe that you want to work towards this, the universe will get out of your way. You start launching rockets, you start a YouTube channel about it. Maybe Elon takes notice of your channel, hires you. You start working for SpaceX. You learn everything that you need to learn, and then you go start your own SpaceX, right? Again, crazy story, could totally happen. If there was ever a time where something crazy could happen, it would be right now. So that's why I encourage people so much, like put yourself in these positions to get lucky. You're not going to get lucky just sitting around, right? So that's why it's important. With the Chariot, you have the Hangman. Yeah, you're becoming enlightened to something here. The Hangman is also a change in perspective. Remember what we said, that maybe you're going one direction, but you have to change direction. There might be, I kind of just get that feeling that there's a better, there's a better path, or maybe there's a path that you're not necessarily seeing. And I feel like picking the new path or going this way could be very beneficial for you. So that's what I'd be doing here, Capricorn. This looks very, very good. Next, 4 messages from your future self. You have this Observer card. He's looking at this moon that exists. And again, the moon can definitely represent our dreams, our daydreams, things that we're imagining. It can also represent uncertainty as well, where maybe we don't know what we're supposed to do, or maybe we don't know. We actually do know, but maybe we think we don't know what we're supposed to be doing. But I feel like this is saying start taking those first steps, right? You have the King of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Three of Cups. Again, I do get this feeling of forgiveness on this Three of Swords. For those of you that want love and maybe you're still holding on to something from the past, I do feel your future self is saying, forgiving that person is the quickest way to move on and to attract a new person into your life. And again, we're not forgiving the person directly. We're forgiving the person in our heart. Those swords are in your own heart. So by forgiving yourself and forgiving the person in your heart, then you're kind of just healing it and you're moving on. And that's kind of like what I feel is going on here. You have the Three of Cups. I'm also getting, I also have something, be careful of your leg or something like that's popping into my head. I don't know. Three of Swords says stay healthy, so I'm not a doctor, but I'd be careful. You have the Three of Cups here. Three of Cups says teamwork makes the dream work. So I do feel there is like a celebration or some sort of celebration coming in for you with the Three of Cups. I'm also getting party time. Those words are popping into my head. So it could be a time to party. You could be having a good time, a lot of celebrations and happiness in your life. Love it. And you also have the King of Cups. I'm getting a lot here on the King of Cups. Number one could be a person you're attracting. I feel like you're attracting a little bit of a mad scientist type here, is what I would say. And what I mean by that is I feel like you could be attracting a person who has like a high level of creative intelligence. I feel like they could be extremely creative. That's like the vibe I get here. I feel like they have a lot of knowledge and wisdom. I feel like people look at this person like a nutty professor. That's why I say mad scientist, right? It's almost like people could look at this person and say, this person's weird, unconventional, eccentric, whatever. But I feel like they're much more successful than the average person. So it's like they're not weird. They're just successful, which might be weird. And again, I feel you could be attracting a person like that. This is also a clue card to me, and it's a clue for the home. And I feel like some of you could be experiencing some changes in the home. You could be moving, traveling, or any of those things at this time. But let's see here. With the King of Cups, you have the Knight of Swords. Somebody wants to rush here. I feel like there's no rush. Maybe you're used to people running away from you. Maybe you're used to people breadcrumbing you, whatever. I feel like this person is very different. I feel like there's no rush here. I actually feel like rushing will scare this person away if it's love. With the Three of Swords, you have the Ace of Wands. Yes, there's a passionate new beginning coming in for you. We already know that. I would also be following your passions. Again, I say this all the time because of so much of what is going on, but Ace of Wands is like my favorite card in the tarot. And I like it because, really the reason it's my favorite card is because it's just that one thing we need in life. It is like the spark of life, that one kind of shiny moment or that one chance that sometimes we need in like work and business and love. It's just that one thing, right? Where if we grab onto it, if we take advantage of it, and if we nurture it into existence, we become very successful. And that's kind of what I feel for you. With the Three of Cups, you have the Magician. Yeah, I would stay in this celebratory energy. Magician, card of manifestation, but I would try your best to stay in an energy of happiness, abundance, joy. Like all those things are going to be important here. We're going to pull 5 main themes now here, and we're going to see what's going on for you. You have this parrot. It says someone will gossip about all your secrets. Again, until the end of March, basically, we're dealing with Mars retrograde shadow. Technically until the middle of March, but I would say until the end of March. I would just ignore gossip at all costs. You have this career card. So I feel for a lot of you, your career is going to be very important. I feel like you're going through maybe a change in career, work, or business, and it looks like a very successful change. You have this older woman card. It says dealings or relationships with an older woman. I always clarify these people cards. You have this caterpillar. Things will not always be this way. A change is coming. I feel that this could be you changing. I also feel that, again, it doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to. I do feel you could be attracting a more mature person. They could be older than you, but they also might be the same age or younger even, but maybe they just come off as very mature. King of Swords, right? Very mature, very successful, like all of those things. So, that's what I'm getting there. Next, you have this dark man. It says dealings or relationships with a man with dark complexion or hair. You also have this cup card. It says you should accept valid criticism. Yeah, like I said, I would ignore criticism. It's not that I wouldn't accept it. I would just, kind of ignore it with the 6 of Wands. And again, sometimes some criticisms, even on this channel, people have had many criticisms. It hurts my feelings, right? But it's true, right? So we have to sometimes kind of be honest with ourselves and say okay, maybe maybe I should stop talking about pizza in my videos or something like that, right? You have this egg card. It says success assured with good plans and hard work. Yes, a lot of success in this reading, very successful reading, a lot of abundance. So I love this for you here, Capricorn. I feel like there is some good stuff coming in here. So thank you for being here, Capricorn. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time.